were identical twins. He had tried to get in our outfit with his brother, and he had succeeded, and he came from the Air Force. And so there now we got his brother, but Gentry's gone. And he was a staff sergeant when he came. Well, that didn't take long. They took him right, now he's a private. So there was no place for a staff in our outfit. If there's been an outfit in there ahead of you, you know, there's a lot of damage. And buildings, you know, there's a lot of holes in them. And that kind of bothered me. I see that. A nice chateau and all shot up. But I never remember too many vehicles that were knocked out. You know, we were up in Luxembourg and Belgium, and then it started getting cold. So we said, we're going to be here on the stationary frontier for a long time. So what we did, we built log cabins, you know, wood. The logs are about that big, all perfect. And we had some pretty handy guys, you know, and they started chopping down some trees and built like little lean-tos, you know, and we built bunks out of them, and we lined them with camouflage netting. Even made a little stove, you know, out of a gas can. So they were kind of comfortable, but we thought we were going to be there a long time. We weren't there a long time at all. But then he said, we even dug foxholes, you know. We got chewed out because we didn't disperse the dirt. They'd come over and, you know, and taking pictures, there's a bunch of dirt here and there. So we had to disperse the dirt. Well, I don't know which is worse. At night, you'd want to go over here and over there, and next day, he'd be in a hole. And more broken legs, more casualties. One experience we had, that same place, we'd watch them B-17s go over, bombing Germany. You catch a glimpse of them in the sun, you know, way up. And you know, they said, geez, tonight they'll be back home in England. Well, one day there was one came down, he's really low, and there happened to be a castle not too far from we were, but maybe 5 acres is all. And this plane is starting to come right down. I said, God, this guy's not going to try to land there. You won't land that thing. And we were dug in all kind of on the side of a hill and a roll like that. And all of a sudden the landing gear starts coming down. And one guy bails out, another one bails out. I think there was 9, if I remember right. And now the plane is starting to come down. It's lined up right for us, you know, like, gee, that looked big. I never saw nothing that big. And that hole I got is not going to help me. But it hit a couple of big, tall trees, and it turned just enough like that where it went down over there. So it's all, the thing is, it's not burning or anything, but it's sizzling and smoking. And of course, we're curious, you know, we want to go see if anybody's in there. And not knowing this thing could blow up at any minute. But the gas, they'd run out of gas. They had the tank shot out. So we're in there scrounging around for anything we could find. And I found one of these, the flare, red or green, I don't remember. But it, like a, you know, dumb kid, you know. It says, strike firmly on the bottom, you know. So I whacked it, it went up in the air, all red and green, burned the hell out of my hand, you know. But we went and got one reconnaissance and sent them out for the crew. They thought, well, they were very close to the line, and we got every one of them. One guy had a broken leg, and he got hooked up in a tree, and he got him out of that. But they were so grateful, and they looked so clean. You know, they were just left to shower. They gave us all their clothes. They had these flight jackets, you know, and the pants, everything they had, they gave it to us. And we gave them a couple of pair of fatigues, you know. We had to give it all back. They wouldn't let us keep none of it. But they were very generous, you know. How come we got to give them up? Well, there's not enough to go around. So here you'd be out there with a nice flight jacket on, one guy out of 20. Because I asked, why did you put the landing gear down? You certainly weren't, they were going to tear up the plane is what that was for. It was, the gear was down to tear it up more. So they thought they were in German lines. They were closed. Very quiet. And then that's when they took us back, you know, in this little town, and it was a school building. And we had it made before. We had these little buildings we built. But, and it was warm. So you think of this, the school building, like a schoolroom, but about 50, 60 guys in it. Oh, geez, there was no sleeping. But then a couple of nights, then they got us right out. And then we went back. So the whole situation changed from there. And we pulled us back a ways, and then we went into another little place. And all at night, couldn't see nothing. You didn't know who you were. You could hear hobnail boots. They were like in one part of the town, we were part of another part. So to set it up, we had a machine gun set up, and I could see fire way off, echo like big stuff. I said, holy jeez, man, all we got is a 30 caliber machine gun. What are we going to hold off with this thing? And then we got relieved. Somebody came in and said, oh, you're supposed to not be here. We're going to take this over. And I said, you can have it if you want it. I don't want it. But it was utter confusion what it was. There was guys in our outfit that never saw them before. They were from a different division. They just got wandered and lost. It was utter confusion. Nobody knew where they were. We weren't so bad, I didn't think, but it just that, what the hell side are we on here? I don't even know. We took a bunch of prisoners about 2 days later, and I was on a half track on a 50 caliber, and I just swung the gun around towards the road where they were walking up, pointing around, like that. And I remember I just swung the gun around. I wasn't going to shoot anybody, geez, Boy, it's like I was. They put them arms up farther they can get them, and just looking at that gun, Yeah, but it was different, believe me. Well, we were held out a little bit, like in a reserve. I think there was about, maybe 2 companies, and ours was one. And we had gotten a new platoon leader, just came not far out of OCS. And I could see them Germans, they were in these farm buildings, and they could see us evidently because they were starting to leave. They're going out the back, heading out for the woods. And I'm on this 50 caliber, and I said, Jesus, I don't know, it's a long ways away, and I didn't know sure if some of our guys were down in there. I couldn't make them out. So the lieutenant, he was like, geez, don't shoot, Bill, don't shoot. He said, our guys are in there someplace. And then I didn't shoot. And then shortly after that, then we got some artillery in. And the best friend I had, he was from Wausau. He got hit, and this lieutenant got hit. Oh, he said, I think I'm bleeding to death. Oh, I can feel the blood, he said, coming down my leg. We went over and looked, and I didn't see any blood. Seen it was wet. What happened? A piece of shrapnel went through his canteen bottle. That's running down his leg. He thought he was wounded, but he still swore he was wounded. I didn't see no blood at all. But anyway, they hauled him away. But I thought, geez, that's kind of funny. It was funny then, but then after that, when then we moved out, and they had it kind of like under just a little dirt road. On one side, it was all solid woods. On the other side was these farm buildings, and there a lot of woods there too. So you had to go right straight to get out of there. So we had one of the tanks from one of our tank battalions. They were in front of us, and I was in the leading tank behind the leading tractor tank. And we got down in there, and then I can see them up in them windows, these guys. And I got this 50 caliber, so I'm really making hay with that thing, the wood's flying, and the gun jammed. Geez, to clear a 50 caliber, you got to stand up and pull that back. Boy, if I stick my neck out, I'm going to get nailed. I know I will. So the captain, he's in our track, and he's starting to holler for that 50 caliber. So do or die. I stood up for 1 second. And the next thing you know, I'm back of that track. I got hit right in the face. I just flew out of there. So, and I don't know if they ever did get that 50 caliber going, but that was all I remember about it. And after a while, when it settled down, I didn't know where to go. You're wanted, and I was half blind. I couldn't see. So the guy said, "Well, here's your helmet." I lost my helmet. I lost everything. And he said, "Here's your helmet." I said, "That can't be mine. It was a hole right straight through it. That was mine. I'd be in the ground." But I got out of there, and one of the guys that got me out, he goes to our reunion, and he knew all about it, everything. All where I was, and Of course, he was pretty knowledgeable of that sort of stuff. But I was on this 50 caliber, and whatever hit that hit me. It's just blue. They dug a lot up. Where the paint come from, I don't even know. But I had this hand on the trigger, and that hit. I had a hole in there, and all on the right side. But it was I don't know. Couldn't have been a mortar. I doubt it very much because I was supposed to make a, what did you get hit with? And I can honestly tell them what I got hit with. I had to walk to that first aid. Well, I couldn't see it. You know, I couldn't see it all. My vision was blurred with all the blood and whatever. And this guy got me there. He was a staff sergeant. He was more in the reconnaissance part of it than our platoon. And he kind of knew the area or knew what was getting into. So I mean, I couldn't have picked a better reliable guy. And we have our reunions, of course, now most guys that are gone, but every time he'd see me, you know, you're damn lucky I was there. He said, I said, yeah, I thank you for that. Boy, you were a mess, he said. Yeah. In fact, one other time we had an aid station similar to that, and all of a sudden our platoon was getting smaller and smaller and smaller. What the hell, where is everybody? Every time a guy got wounded, 2 guys would take him back. So pretty soon, you're up there with about a handful of guys, you know. What the hell is going on here? And he said, I got you back. They had an aid station back in the woods somewhere, and I got back there. And said that, and nobody knew where they were. It was utter confusion. They got in the ambulance. They had 3 guys in the back, plus me. I was riding in the seat because I was only hit right in the face. And this driver was worried. He's like, we're going to get captured. I know we are. He said, we're going to all get captured. No, I said, great, just drive. You didn't know where you were going anyway. I didn't know where I was going. But we got out of there anyway. And we got to a better station. You know, I don't know how many guys were laying there. There was a lot of them. And 2 orderlies come in there, and he told one of the doctors, they got them all lined up. He was outside. And they were all guys that were dead. They lined them up. He said, I don't want them, he said. I was on the operating table when I heard him out. I don't want them. I want the guys that are living. Oh, we got them all lined up, he said. I don't know who he was, I didn't see him. It was kind of a temporary thing. You know, I didn't have any major surgery, but they stopped all the bleeding. It was shot up in my mouth, and they got that stopped. And then I don't know how far back we went. I really don't know that. But then they got me on the operating table, and the guy said, we're going to give you about 300 stitches, you know. So at least they got it all. It was a hospital. I don't know how big or where or nothing else. And the next thing you know, I'm being loaded up in an ambulance, and we were being driven to an airfield. And where you would wait and pass, they had litters all strewn all over their guys, and there must have been hundreds of guys. And that's where we were flying out of, you know. So I think we were there a day, laying in there for a day. There was a lot of moaning and groaning, you know, the guys hit them. But that way, finally got out of there and went to England. That was kind of nice. My eyesight was distorted. I thought I lost an eye. I wasn't sure, no one tells you. And when I got to the hospital, it was kind of like a ward for facial and eye wounds. So, and I still didn't know. I was there about 3 days, and I still didn't know because you're banded up so much. And the guy had the bunk next to me. He said, take a look. If I got my eye, he said, would you take a look? And when he took the bandage off, I looked, and he didn't. He lost his eye. So I said, you look when I get through. Nope, he says, you got your eye. And I was almost disappointed. Jesus, now I got to go back. If I'd have taken it out, I'd been done. That's how dumb it is, you know. Well, I remember exactly where I was. I was in Cirencester, England. The reason I remember that name, and I went to a doctor here in Appleton. His name is Dr. Giel. He's from England. And I mentioned Cirencester a million times, nobody ever heard of it. So I said to him one day, I said, would you happen to know where Cirencester, England is? He said, I did my grad work there in the hospital. So one guy knew anyway where it was. This ward I was in was almost the eyes, and about 3 guys in there that was completely blind.